Welcome to What's Cooking, New Ulm. I'm Rebecca Fliszar, the dietitian with the Heart's Beat Back, Heart of New Ulm project, working to reduce and eventually eliminate heart attacks in the 56073 zip code. Today we have one of our famous guests back to visit. Tammy Kieper is here with one of her great recipes. Welcome, Tammy.
Well, I'm glad to be here. It's always a joy to be here and share one of my inexpensive recipes.
Great. And that is true. Tammy always uses great products, things that we're used to having in our home, and yet things that we maybe use in a different way. So, Tammy, we always appreciate your great recipes. Tell us a little bit about what you have for us here today.
Today we are going to make a quick and simple veggie burger. I've tried many of them in town, the pre-packaged ones, pre-cooked, and nobody in our family likes them, so I'm experimenting a little bit with some of the things I had, and I think I've come up with one that everybody will enjoy.
Well, great. You know, veggie burgers are something that are becoming very popular. It fits into our Mediterranean diet model, and yet they're hard to find that taste good. So let's go ahead and start walking through this recipe and see what we come up with. So where do we start?
Okay, the first place we want to start is we want to process 2 cans of kidney beans. So we dump them in, and this recipe can be halved. This recipe will make us 12 fairly good size veggie burgers.
Okay.
So we want to dump in our kidney beans.
Now remember, our kidney beans are going to be very high in fiber. They're a great source of protein, and also they're going to be cholesterol free. So this is ideal if you're watching your cholesterol, but still need that protein in our diet. So we encourage you to have the beans in there anytime possible.
And then we'll add 1 cup of old-fashioned oatmeal in there, kind of binds it together.
Okay.
And then we put in, well, our ketchup's not open. We will put in 4 tablespoons of ketchup, which should get bind with this.
Now you can see that these are things that we would have in our cupboard, something that you can put together at any time, and yet they're going to have a very different flavor to this. Now I've tried these burgers and they're really delicious. Many times we'll have things like soy burgers or other kinds of veggie burgers that maybe aren't quite to our palate or things we're not familiar with. But because Tammy has chosen foods that we're all familiar with, it really does turn out to be a great recipe. So how did you come up with this, Tammy?
Well, I found a recipe and we've just been kind of working with it and adding things and changing things around a little bit. And that's how we came up with it.
Great. Now I know that you're adding some of the vegetables. Have you thought of other vegetables that you can add in as well?
Yes.
Spin it all the way to the front there.
There
you go.
We have, and like I said, we experiment. We first started out with just the red peppers, and we started adding green peppers. We added a few more onions. Some people don't like as many onions as we do. Then we added the celery because we do a lot of cooking with celery. So we do a lot. Kind of try to get that pulse there. I don't know if I'm supposed to.
Yeah. So what kind of consistency are you looking for on this, Tammy?
It's just so it kind of gets well mixed that you're kind of, these beans have like a shell on them or a little skin on them, so you don't have that thick bean in your way.
Okay.
You kind of want it kind of like mush.
All right.
And this candy gadget I don't have at home, so you have to bear with me.
That's all right. You know, some of these do take a little bit more time to make sure you get to the consistency you want. Remember, this is to look like hamburger, so it is a very specific consistency that you want. So it does take a little bit of time, a little bit of effort. You can definitely see on the bottom, though, how that is.
Yep,
it's starting
how it's
to look
starting.
just like hamburger. Yep.
And I've often thought to myself, I wonder how this would be if you made a little bit of this and you mix it in with your meatloaf or things like that. You'd have a little protein, and yet you would be saving money. You'd use a little less meat. I think one more time should do it. No, that's pretty close for now.
I think the unique thing about these too is that we're not using an egg, so it is only using the oats and the ketchup as your binder. We don't have any eggs, so you can be sure that you're going to be low on cholesterol. Basically no cholesterol in this, which is a great option if you're following a heart-healthy diet. So yeah, this is a really great recipe.
I guess we don't need that in our burger. I'll set that over there. So then we proceed to put this in our bowl, and this does work much better if you can make it up ahead of time and refrigerate it.
Okay.
And you can also make it up ahead of time, make it into patties, put them on like a cookie sheet, freeze them, wrap them up in saran wrap, and take them out as you would like them or use them.
Okay.
So now we will proceed to add our red pepper, and it says 1 small red pepper. If you
Okay.
have a little more, it's not going to hurt.
Right.
If
More
it gets-
vegetables, the better.
If it gets a little wet, add more breadcrumbs
Okay.
but like I said, it does get better as it cools.
All right. So the breadcrumbs we'll add at the end, so we're watching our consistency?
Yes,
Okay.
because when you add your vegetables, they may get a little more watery or wetter,
Okay.
which doesn't hurt anything. But
Now I know that you can use different kinds of breadcrumbs as well. You could use your plain, or they do have Italian or other things that are going
Seasoned,
to
that's
change
correct.
the flavor of your burgers as well.
or if you have some croutons left from a salad, sometimes we have cheddar and garlic. I just grind them up, mix them in.
All right. So this is our shredded celery.
Celery, yes. There's 2 stalks of celery in here. And there was a small red pepper and a small green pepper.
Okay.
And then it calls for 2 medium onions. I put in as much as you want.
Great.
Maybe some people don't like onions. I like onions. We have something to flavor these beans with. And you can also use different kind of beans. You do not just have to stick to kidney beans. If you have a can of another kind of bean, mix them up.
Right.
Whatever's in your pantry.
Good. And it will change your flavor a little bit, and maybe that's something that you want to experiment with as well. So that's great.
correct. And then we want, it calls for 2 medium carrots, so we add them.
Okay. Now, a lot of these you can actually purchase already cut up. Tammy had done that before the show had started, so that we could
We
see how
save a
everything
little more
went.
time, yes.
Yep. So if you are looking for a time-saving recipe, ways to make up a little bit of your time with this, that is something that you can do as well. You know, it's amazing the color in this and how
It's a
great
very-
that's looking, and to think that this is going to turn out to a burger is really great. Yeah.
And then we should have our garlic. It calls for 4 cloves minced. And, well, I cheat because we don't always use a lot of garlic. And this way you don't waste it. And so we're going to kind of guess here.
You know, this really is a great way. This is packed in water, so it doesn't add any kind of calories or anything, but by having your garlic already minced, we're more likely to use this in our recipes. You know, garlic is one of our great heart-healthy foods, and we want to incorporate that into recipes as much as possible. So if it helps you and means that you're going to use it more by having it already minced, go ahead and make that purchase. It will definitely be worth it.
So we'll mix that in.
Now, Tammy, you and your family have been very active in the heart of New Ulm. What are some of the things you've been involved in lately?
Well, we went to the beef consul cook-off you had.
Yep.
And we're going to do our screening coming up. And we are participating in the 5Ks. And some of the exercising programs you have, we've been participating in.
You know, one of the great things that you and your family have done is that you've been role models for others, and you've encouraged other people to become involved. And that's exactly what we're looking for. Tammy's one of our district leaders, and she really has been a community leader to let people know what's going on in our community, how to get involved, and that everybody has a part in the Heart of New Ulm. So you and your family have been great for the Heart of New Ulm, and we hope the rest of the community can follow.
And what I'm finding more and more is the surrounding towns are interested in the program, and they are coming to participate in like the 5Ks and different programs you have. And everybody I talk to is talking about the Heart of New Ulm and the programs and how it's changing their eating habits. And
Great.
when I go to Subway New Ulm, I actually have to wait in line. The lines are longer. I go to McDonald's, I see more people are eating salads, and it's really amazing how things are changing.
Yeah, and we do attribute that not only to the Heart of New Ulm, but to the people that are being the exemplary models, and I think you and your family have done that, so that's great. Well, while Tammy starts making up her patties, we're going to go ahead and check in with Holly and see what's new for Fit in 5.
Right. Welcome to Fit in 5. Today we're going to do a cardio circuit workout. I'm going to show you 4 moves that you can do, again, at home on your own. They're going to be about 30 seconds to 1 minute in duration each. And then if you feel like you need to take about a 1 minute march or rest in between each one, feel free to do so. We're going to start off with the jump shot. So basically, just like you were playing basketball, you're going to take your feet about hip distance apart, you're going to aim, and you're going to jump and shoot. And you're going to keep doing this for a minute, and I'm going to start over and tuck my shirt in because it was flopping all over the place. Sorry.
Sorry, I got caught off guard by you moving, so.
Okay.
I was like, oh, wait,
Okay.
no, I should be zoomed out.
Okay. All right.
Okay, and we're still recording, so you feel
All right.
free to go ahead.
Okay. Welcome to Fit in 5. Today we're going to do a cardio circuit workout that you can do in the comfort of your own home. We're going to do each one of these 4 moves for 1 minute or 30 seconds, depending on how much intensity you feel like using. You can go from move to move, or you can stop and rest for about 30 seconds to a minute in between. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is a jump shot. So going back to your basketball days, or if you never played basketball, here's your chance to start. But we're going to go ahead, squat, and just like we're grabbing a ball, we're going to jump and shoot. And we're going to land nice and soft, knees soft, bending from the hips. And we're going to keep doing this for 30 seconds to a minute. Now, if jumping isn't your game, you don't have to. You can take the ball, come up onto the toes, just squat down a little bit deeper when you come back down. So you're going to come up and down, up and down, up and down. You're going to do that, like I said, for a minute, 30 seconds to a minute. If you feel like you need to take a little break in between, don't just stand. Make sure that you're moving the feet side to side, looking, counting, before you go on to the next movement, which is going to be a little karate chop. Now, I have a set of weights with me here today, but you don't have to use weights to do this. I'm going to grab mine. You can also use, remember, your soup cans or your milk jugs filled with different levels of water. We're going to take the feet shoulder distance apart. We're going to bend the knees and the hips. Just like we're going to bring the elbows in, we're going to punch, pull in, and then punch, pull in. We're going to keep the lower body stable. You're going to notice my lower body doesn't do any of the work, just the upper body. Like I said, you can use weights, or you can put the weights down and just use the arms. You're going to punch, keep the elbows in nice and tight to the body. Again, we've got that core engaged, holding the body upright. Punch, punch, punch. Again, 30 seconds to a minute here. You can deepen the squat. You can speed up the movement of the arms. Again, if you feel like you need to take a little break, make sure that the feet stay moving. The next thing we're going to do is just a little hop switch. You can do this just on the floor, or if you have a box or something that you want to put in front of you to make sure that the feet stay elevated above that level, you sure can. But we're just going to start with one leg forward, and then we're just going to switch, switch, switch. And we're going to continue through this movement. Again, 30 seconds to a minute. Now again, if hopping isn't your game, then you're here, 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 really deepening the bend on each one, but keeping the chest and the spine lifted. Okay, so you don't necessarily have to hop. Same thing, if you need a little break, you're moving, marching, walking around your living room. The last move we're going to do is a kickboxing move. So we're going to go ahead, keep the knees nice and soft. We've got the arms in right here. We're going to step in. We're going to side kick and down, side kick and down, down, down. If you have something that you want to kick at, like a wall, a couch cushion, preferably not your significant other or somebody else living in the home, but you can do that. We're going to do 15 to 30 seconds on one side, and then we're going to switch, of course, because you'll be crooked, and that's not right. So we're going to kick, kick, kick. Same thing, 15 to 30 seconds on this side. And then we're done. Now you can repeat this cycle, and you can go for a longer duration if you want. So if you want to do a series and then do it all over again for a nice about 10-minute workout or so, that's great. If you've done it, you're done one time through, that's great as well. But remember, Keep the feet moving until the heart rate comes down, and then make sure that you stretch afterwards. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're going to stretch the back of the legs, the hamstrings. You can bend forward. You can stretch the front of the legs just by grabbing the ankle for the quadriceps stretch. But you want to make sure stretch those muscles. After you're done, let the heart rate come back down as well. Okay, that'll provide you with a nice safe workout and prevent that muscle soreness. For Fit in 5, I'm Holly. Have a heart healthy day.
Thanks, Holly. Be sure you stay involved as well with the Heart of New Ulm. Look into some of our Community Health Challenge projects. We've got lots going on, lots of activities to become involved in. All right, Tammy, where are we at?
Okay, right now we have our pan heating. We have olive oil in there, just enough to cover the bottom of the pan. We make our mix into patties here, and
Okay.
we will set them into the oil here.
So
And
we're
we will
looking for
fry
about
them.
regular hamburger patty size. Now,
Yeah.
are these going to shrink at all, or can we expect these to stay the same
These
size?
will stay about the same size. You
Okay.
might, if you want to, you can flatten them out a little bit to kind of hustle it along and get so the veggies get a little bit done.
Okay.
Otherwise, they'll stay a little crunchy.
Okay.
But it's whatever you prefer. And like I said, you can also bake these when you take them out of the freezer. If you don't want to fry them, you can put them on a cookie sheet, spray your cookie sheet with some non-spray or non-stick spray, and then put them in the oven at 350 for approximately half an hour until they're heated through.
Okay.
But you will find if you fry them, they have a little nicer flavor,
All right.
and they look more like a regular burger, and your family will eat them a lot better than when they come out of the
Oven, huh?
yeah.
Now remember, we did choose the olive oil to coat our pan. This is high in our mono and unsaturated fats. These are the ones that bring up our good cholesterol and down our bad. We used just a small amount to make sure our pan didn't stick. Because this recipe has very little or no fat in it, the extra olive oil will not add too much fat into this recipe, so it's still a fine substitution. Always look for that olive oil as a better substitution for butter. If you are watching your calories very closely or reducing the fat in your diet, like Tammy mentioned, you can bake these as well, but they do come out a different color, and this is going to have a
They're
little bit
more
of
of a pale color, and they don't stick together quite as well when you
Okay.
bake them.
yeah.
And if you're trying to get kids to eat them, this is the way to go.
So we're just looking for these, just like a regular burger, to be
They'll
golden
brown.
brown.
They do brown
Okay. Okay.
after a few minutes. And like I said, you can make them thicker, but if you make them a little bit thinner, your vegetables will get a little bit softer.
Okay.
Otherwise, they're going to stay on the crunchier order, which isn't.
Now, how would these do on the grill, you think? Are they going to stick together, or would you want to put a pan down first if people are waiting for those last summer barbecues? Or
I think I would put a pan down first because I do believe they will
fall
crumble
in between?
apart.
Okay.
I don't know. We haven't tried the grill. But
Oh yeah, they're going to come out a nice color. It's
yep,
gonna
they're
give it
starting to brown a little bit.
And it is important to put that oil in, because remember, this is not going to leach out any fat. So if you don't add a little bit of oil, you are going to have some problems with them sticking.
They will
in.
stick
Yeah,
from
yeah.
the beans, the starch in the beans.
Right. And the oatmeal.
Yes.
Now, by adding this on to a whole wheat bun, you're going to find that you're making a pretty comprehensive meal. We'll have our carbohydrates, our fats, and our vegetables all covered within this one meal. So it's a great choice. Do try to avoid your cheese with this meal, and you're going to be very heart healthy. A slice of cheese really throws us off. It adds a lot of sodium, cholesterol, and saturated fat. So if you can have the hamburger over the cheeseburger or the veggie burger over the veggie cheeseburger, you're going to be doing a lot better. You know, these smell great, and the color is looking really good. I think that this is something that my family would definitely eat. It's looking good.
And then after a while, you can top them with your tomato, your lettuce. Sometimes they put like a cucumber dressing on with the yogurt, the cucumber, and a little onion in it. You might want a little dressing on top. You can doctor them up, maybe put a little spinach leaf on it or your romaine lettuce. You can make them actually look like a pretty nice burger.
Now, I noticed when I tried these, I really don't taste the ketchup in there at all.
You really don't. It's you kind of lose it into the beans and the oatmeal flavor. You could add more ketchup. Like I said, it's something you can experiment with. You might want to put some Italian seasoning in here.
Sure.
Or if you, like I said, if you're using your Italian breadcrumbs or what, that'll give it a different flavoring. You can play with it and kind of doctor it up yourself. If you don't have breadcrumbs, you can use crackers, but then you got the problem with the salt, unless you have unsalted crackers.
Right.
Well,
So how have these gone over with your family? Is it something that you eat fairly often and they enjoy?
The first time they didn't enjoy them, we kept working on them, and now I can tell them they're chicken or what, and they don't know the difference. Everybody eats them.
Well,
My
that's the
family's
way to
easy
go.
to go.
Yeah.
Sometimes what you don't know what you're eating.
Can't hurt you, right?
No.
There you go.
But these are about done, and we can get
All right, let me
fun.
get you a plate.
Whoops, it's falling apart a little bit. And again, you can cook them as long as you wish. The more you cook them, the more doner they'll get. Because you just want them heated thoroughly through, because we're not cooking any meat or anything, so we don't have to worry.
Okay.
And then you can put a slice of tomato on there if you want.
Yeah, that nice golden brown is what's going to really add a little bit of flavor, the great texture that's going to go along with these. This is going to be a good meal.
Put a slice of tomato on your plate. Maybe a slice of onion if you like onion.
Now, Tammy, like you were mentioning, you've taken the Heart of New Ulm to other communities as well. We noticed that we have lots of out-of-town runners for our River Blast, and that's been great. And we've appreciated you taking our mission outside of the boundaries of New Ulm.
Well, it's been
so that's
very
great.
easy to do. Wherever I go, we talk about the Heart of New Ulm and the things that are going on and the things that are changing. And I had the opportunity. I spent some time in Rochester last winter. And of course, they're not affiliated with this program, but it was amazing how many of the doctors and the nurses was actually interested in the results you've been getting in the different programs, and they were actually surprised it was working. They said they'd done something similar many, many years ago, and it didn't work at all. But
Great.
I think New Ulm is working very hard, so.
Yeah, and that is the community getting behind the project, and that's what we appreciate most.
And so I think it's a great project. I hope it continues. I hope it continues after the 10 years.
Exactly, exactly.
And it's a great way to meet a lot of great people. I've met so many people. And it's kind of fun when you walk the streets, they're getting to know you. And it's a win-win all the way around.
Great.
There you go.
Well, there we go, Tammy. These look like excellent burgers, and we have a complete meal here. This is going to be something that I definitely will be incorporating into my family's menu, so this is wonderful. I sure appreciate you taking your time once again, Tammy, and we
Well,
always
I'm glad
enjoy-
you're always having me.
We enjoy having you. That's right. Well, that's it for this week's episode of What's Cooking New Ulm. I'm Rebecca Fliszar. Have a heart-healthy week.